Here is my way too early top 10 fantasy running backs in 2020. Number 10, Nick Chubb. Let's hope that the Browns' new coach allows Chubb to keep all of his carries. Chubb had the most 20-plus yards run in 2019. The biggest thing that holds Chubb back next season is having Hunt steal carries and red zone opportunities, and needing to balance the offense with arguably the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. Number 9, Josh Jacobs. The rookie back came into the season where the Raiders lost their number 1 wide receiver. I see the Raiders getting another big-name wide receiver in free agency or spending some high draft stock to help prevent Jacobs from facing 8 men in the box. This will lead him to a top 10 back next season. Number 8, Derrick Henry. Once Ryan Tannehill took over the Titans offense, Derrick was a fantasy stud outside of his Week 16 injury. The Titans now have a very good-looking offense and finally have a good wide receiver and quarterback to support Derrick Henry in being the 8th best running back next season. Number 7, Davon Cook. Cook proved the entire season that he was a fantasy stud up until the playoffs when he got hurt. Let's say if his team can stay together, he'll have a great offense around him. But that locker room looks like they're having some troubles. But he should be a great stud running back next year. Number 6, Joe Mixon. Mixon was looking like a fantasy bust up until the second half of the season when he was putting up great numbers. Mixon ending up being the running back number 11 at the end of the season. That's pretty good coming from a team that couldn't score at all. The Bengals were ranked 30th this last season at 17.4 points per game. With the Bengals most likely drafting Burrow and hopefully fixing that mess of an O-line, all signs point to Mixon only improving on next year. Number 5, Miles Sanders. The rookie had the fewest amount of carries in my top 10 list. He was 7th most in receiving yards out of all running backs with 509 yards, putting him over 1,300 yards for the 2019 season. That is with the Eagles team that lost almost every weapon throughout the season. We will have to see what happens with Jordan Howard, but Sanders is the back they drafted to be their 3-down featured back and will be your top 5 running back next season. Number 4, Aaron Jones. Jones was unleashed this season, allowing us to see what he can do when he gets the full load. Out of the top 5 running backs, he touched the ball almost 50 times less than all of them. Now, we can't expect to have him another 19 touchdown season, but I think it's fair to say he can stay near that level with having a Hall of Fame quarterback like Aaron Rodgers behind the center of a league-leading offense each and every season. Number 3, Saquon Barkley. I don't think anyone wanted to bet against Barkley going into the 2019 season, but everyone saw the Giants were going to be a poor quality team. But even that didn't stop Barkley from ranking in the top 10 running backs as number 10. Even with his injury-filled season, he crushed his way to the top. Number 2, Ezekiel Elliott. Zeke was week in and week out a top 10 running back all season. I don't see anything changing in Dallas enough to change the greatness of this fantasy stud. The only thing we have to worry about for fantasy owners is the amount of wear and tear Elliott is getting each and every year. But he's still young, and I can see this guy doing his best ludicrous impersonation going for that number 1 spot. Number 1, Christian McCaffrey. CMC was an absolute beast this year with having his franchise quarterback getting hurt and having instability in the offense. The Panthers ranked 20th in points scored this season, and somehow CMC ended up being the number 1 running back this year. He doubled the next top 10 running backs' yards in receiving. He was 3rd in rushing yards. It's hard to see him improving on these stats, but it's hard to see him dropping out of the top 3 spots. You guys, those are my way too early top 10 running backs for 2020. Do you think I ranked someone too high or too low? If so, let me know in the comments down below. And if you liked the video, please hit that like or subscribe button. I'll see you in the next huddle. Ready, break!